So if I have one complaint about e-bikes these days, it's the fact that the built-in headlights that come on them just really aren't bright enough. You don't necessarily need a super high powered light like this Montier 8000 that can produce 8,000 lumens. This is a light that's more suited for super long adventures or out on the trail, not just a quick commute home. Well, Magicshine has a series called the Allty, and they make all kinds of different lights for this. And this year they have upgraded their Allty 400 and their Allty 600 to what they call the V2. These are super tiny, compact lights that will fit easily on most e-bikes and standard bikes and get you through the city safely. And oh yeah, one other thing. These things are super inexpensive. They're not gonna break the bank, but more on that later. So let's talk about the similarities of these before we go over the specs that are a little bit different. Both of these lights are going to have the exact same number of settings on them. They both have a consistent light mode and a flashing light mode. One of the really cool things about these lights is that they have a built-in memory. So if you're using the light in the same scenario all the time, whenever you shut this off and then you go to turn it back on the next time you ride, it's going to know exactly the setting that you last left it on. Also, both lights have a real easy button up top that allows you to turn it on, turn it off, and also lock the light if you want to lock it. And you can also change your modes really easy with a double click. On the back here, it does have a water resistant port that has a USB plug in the back. Now, both lights do come with a USB-C cable to charge these, but you will need to provide your own charging block. Now, both lights have a real similar lens. It's clear on the bottom and a little bit diffused up top. This is gonna be really nice when you're riding through traffic. You're not gonna be blinding the oncoming drivers. And also, each light has a Garmin style mount on the bottom, and you will get a handlebar mount with multiple adapters depending on what type of handlebar you're putting it on. And then also they do have one that's for an undermount style. They call this the GoPro style mount because it's got the little 2 fingers right here. So if you already have like a Garmin or a Wahoo computer and it's got the little mount underneath, you can simply just mount this on there and then the light will actually attach to it. Okay, so now that we know a little bit more about the Allty 600 and the Allty 400 and their similarities, let's go ahead and take them outside and take them on a short ride around my neighborhood and show you guys what these look like in real life. And also go over all the different settings that you can have so you can actually see the brightness of these. Now, I will give you a little bit of a warning. These things aren't going to be near as visible as obviously the huge lights that I use whenever I go mountain biking. So the problem with it is that a lot of cameras like the DJI action cameras, they do a decent job of picking up how bright lights are, but it's not accurate by any means. So whenever we're out on this ride, just take note, you can pretty much guarantee that this is gonna be 3 to 4 times brighter than what you're seeing on the camera. All right, this is what you can expect out of the Allty 400 in full power mode. It is definitely so much brighter than the stock light. Now, one thing I did mention earlier is that these lights aren't gonna be near as impressive on this video as they are in person. I feel super confident with this tiny light producing 400 lumens of power to get me through at even the max speed of what this bike could be at 28 miles an hour. Definitely much more confidence inspiring than the stock light that comes on this bike. So if you're riding in the city, more than likely you're gonna have street lights like this. So there's a lot of times any gap that's up in front of you is gonna be filled in, but this is gonna allow you to see any potholes or anything like that that's in front of you. So these 400 lumen lights are perfect for city riding. We're gonna go quick because I don't have a tail light on right now because I'm trying to show you guys just this headlight. So this is the Allty 600 with full power using all 600 lumens. Man, this thing is producing a lot of light. It just shines a little bit further than the Allty 400. So if you're on really, really dark roads like this one and you don't have a lot of street lights, this may be the one to go with because it does shine several feet ahead of what the Allty 400 would shine.
Now, just to give you an idea of what a stock e-bike headlight looks like, this is on my Electric One e-bike. Absolutely love this bike, but man, just like all the e-bikes I've ridden, these headlights are not bright enough for the speeds that these bikes travel at. This looks decently bright, but I'm telling you, whenever you're out there riding above 10 miles an hour, these headlights just don't cut it. Now let's take a look at the Allty 400 V2.0. This thing is absolutely much brighter. Look at that, there's hardly any gaps in the road where it's actually hitting. And then if we look at the Allty 600, it's the same, but it stretches just a little bit further. That's going to be the big advantage of this. So looking at the settings on these lights, this is the Allty 400 with 400 lumens on high. Then you've got a low setting. Then you've got the medium setting. Now you've got two flash modes, a low flash mode and a high flash mode. These are super bright. You'll be very visible. And on the 600, you've got a high setting, a low setting, and then a medium, and then we'll go back to the high setting. Then also you have the low flash and then the high flash. These lights are so bright compared to the stock headlight.
So I told you guys earlier that you could get these lights for a super cheap price, and I wasn't kidding. The Allty 400 is only $29.99 and the Allty 600 is only $39.99. And I think for the ultimate safety and having a bright light or a flashing light during the day, that's super inexpensive. I love how compact the 400 is, and the Allty 600 is not that far behind it when it comes to how small these lights actually are. And if you guys spend over $50, you guys can use my coupon code RUNBikeMike15 at checkout and you can save 15%. So you might as well pick up both of them, or maybe one of each one that you really like. All right guys, if you enjoyed this review of the Allty 400 and the Allty 600, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. Which one do you think will be perfect for your commute? But as always, get out there and ride your bike.